Hey guys, okay, so today we're going to continue with some composition guidelines and the challenge for today is reflections. So here's a okay, so reflections add another level of depth and interest to your photos. So they're an important thing to try and look out for to get more creative and just get more attention drawn to your photos. So reflections occur when light from your subject hits a reflective surface and bounces back. You can get varying degrees of reflective surfaces, so some might work more successfully than others. Some common reflective surfaces are mirrors, water, and windows. Also, the amount of quality of light reflecting off your subject is important to get a good reflection. So some of the challenges you're going to face, okay, so I had some fun with this one. I decided to take a mirror outside to show it to our dog, which you can imagine. But yeah, so these are some of the challenges basically that you're going to face when you take a reflective image. Apart from finding a good reflective surface you can use, you're also going to need to find an interesting subject to photograph. So those are the first two things you need to do. Lighting should be fairly good to create a good reflection. So just remember that you need to have good light. This is why I decided to go outside, because to take the photo inside, I wasn't going to have good enough light to create a nice reflection on and be able to take a good photo. So I decided to go outside with this. And watch your background to make sure you don't have anything too distracting, both in your image and in the reflecting image. So you can see from the two images. In the first image, I have the braai stand and several things in the background which kind of don't really add to the image, which I didn't really like. And in the second image, the other thing you're going to have to watch for is getting yourself in the image. So you have to move around in such a way that you are getting only your subject in the reflection and not yourself, which can also be quite a challenge. So this was the final one that I chose. I really love this because it's a great moment as well. It really looks like she's checking herself out in the mirror. So first things first, you're going to find some good light and a good reflective surface and subject. Moving subjects are going to be more difficult in this challenge. So to start off with, you might want to find something that's just stationary that you can play around with, but that's up to you. Make sure you aren't forgetting the things like the right moment and rules of thirds. This is why I say the moment really makes this photo, because it really does look like she's checking herself out. Make sure your background is not distracting. So you can see here I've moved away and I've changed her background so there's not like braai and blue stuff and all of that in the background. So we're focusing more on her. Also, the background behind the mirror is important. So it's not ideal, but it's not like majorly distracting. It's not very busy. And again, here I took several images, so I didn't just sit there and take one photo and go, okay, cool, I've got a reflection. I moved around and changed my perspective, and obviously had to keep taking photos while I was doing this because it's a dog and she is moving all the time. So you have to keep trying and keep getting different angles until you're happy with what you're getting. So today's photo challenge: find the reflective surface and an interesting subject in your house or garden. This will be easier if one or the other is movable, so you can move, in this instance, I moved the mirror outside. The dog is also movable, but it was just easier to move the mirror outside than have her inside and being a bit of a bull in a china shop. Work on making an interesting reflective image. So you can include your subject and reflection, or just the photograph of the reflection. So you don't have to have the actual dog in the photo. You can just photograph the reflection. If you move around and play around with this, you'll see what I mean. Take note of your background. Make sure you aren't getting yourself in the photo as well. So again, that's just moving and making sure that you're getting the right angle. And like I said in the previous one, be aware of your the background behind your reflective surface as well. And just try different angles and see until you get to one that you're happy with. Again, I only want you to send one image for this challenge, so don't send me 20 images of reflections. I would like you to go and do your own editing process and find the one that you're happy with, and only send me one that you are actually happy with. Okay, so have fun with that, and we'll talk in the next couple of days. Cheers.